Hello, and welcome back to Learn English at Home. I'm your host, Ethan.
And I'm Monica. We're so glad you could join us today.
Today, we're talking about something I think every single language learner feels at some point. It's that feeling of being stuck.
Yes. The feeling that you're working so hard but you're not making any progress, it can be really frustrating.
Exactly. You look at your goal, maybe it's to be fluent, and it feels so far away. It feels impossible.
So today, we want to change how you think about progress. We're going to talk about the amazing power of small wins and how getting just 1% better every day can change everything.
That sounds great. Because honestly, Monica, I know this is something you've been thinking about lately.
You're right. I have. I feel like I study grammar, I learn new vocabulary, I listen to English podcasts, but when I try to speak, I still make mistakes. I still feel slow. It's like, am I even getting better?
That's such a common feeling. It's because we often only look for big, dramatic improvements. We want to wake up one day and suddenly be fluent.
Yes, I want the movie moment where everything just clicks, but it never happens.
Right, because learning a language isn't a movie moment. It's more like building a house, brick by brick. Or, and this is my favorite analogy, it's like a snowball.
A snowball? Okay, explain that.
Think about it. You start at the top of a big, snowy hill with a tiny little snowball. It's so small you can barely see it. That's your first day of learning English.
Okay, I'm with you. A tiny snowball.
Now you give it a little push. It starts to roll. As it rolls, it picks up a little more snow, just a tiny bit. After a few seconds, it's still a very small snowball. You don't see much difference.
Right. That's me studying for a week and still feeling like I know nothing.
Exactly. But what happens if you let that snowball keep rolling down the hill? The further it goes, the more surface area it has, so it picks up more snow faster and faster. By the time it reaches the bottom of the hill, it's not a small snowball anymore. It's a huge boulder of snow. But it didn't happen all at once. It happened little by little, one tiny snowflake at a time.
That's a really good way to think about it. So learning one new word is like adding one snowflake.
Precisely. It doesn't seem like much, but if you learn one new word every single day, after a year, you know 365 new words. That's not a small number. That is real progress. This is the idea of improving by just 1% every day.
1%. It sounds so small, so achievable.
It is. The math is amazing. If you get 1% better each day for a year, you'll end up nearly 38 times better than when you started. But if you get 1% worse each day, you decline almost down to zero. The small daily habits are what make the difference.
Wow. Okay, so my problem is that I'm only looking at the giant snowball at the bottom of the hill and feeling bad that my snowball is still small.
That's it. You're not appreciating the small bits of snow you're adding every day. You're not recognizing your small wins.
So, how do we do that? How do we start seeing the small wins?
Great question. First, we need to make our goals smaller. Instead of saying, I want to be fluent, which is a huge goal, make a tiny goal for today.
Okay, like what?
Today, I will learn one new phrasal verb. Or, today I will listen to 5 minutes of an English song and write down the words I understand.
That's it? That seems too easy.
That's the point. It should feel easy, because if it's easy, you will do it. And doing it is the most important part. Consistency is more important than intensity.
Consistency over intensity. I like that. I always try to study for 2 hours and then I get tired and don't study for 3 days.
We've all been there. It's much better to study for 15 minutes every single day than to study for 2 hours once a week. That daily practice is what keeps the snowball rolling.
Okay, so practical tips. What are some of these small 1% improvements our listeners could try?
Let's brainstorm. One idea is to change the language on your phone to English. You use your phone every day, so you'll be learning new words without even trying.
Oh, that's a good one. It's a little scary, but it forces you to learn words like settings or messages.
Another one, write one sentence in English in a journal every night before bed. Just one, about your day, your feelings, anything.
I could do that. That sounds manageable.
How about narrating your life? When you're making coffee, say the steps out loud in English. I am getting the coffee. I am pouring the water. It feels silly, but it's amazing practice.
I can imagine doing that. I am walking to the bus. It connects the language to real life.
Exactly. The key is that these are all small things. They are your 1% for the day. And when you do one, you should celebrate it.
Celebrate it? How? Have a party because I learned the word kettle?
Well, maybe not a party, but you should acknowledge it. Tell yourself, good job, I did my English practice today. You can put a check mark on a calendar. Seeing a long chain of check marks is incredibly motivating.
That's true. It's a visual reminder that I am making progress, even if it feels slow. I'm adding a little bit of snow to my snowball every day.
You are. Think about it this way, Monica. Did you understand a movie in English this week that you wouldn't have understood last year?
Well, yeah, I watched a movie with subtitles, but I found myself reading them less and just listening more.
That's a huge win. That is a massive snowball rolling down the hill, but you probably didn't even notice it as progress, did you?
No, I was just focused on the words I didn't understand.
And that's the trap. We have to train ourselves to see the wins. What's another one? Did you have a short conversation, maybe just ordering a coffee that felt a little easier than before?
I did actually. I asked for a latte with oat milk without panicking. I just said it.
Boom! Another win! Another layer of snow on the ball. This is what we mean by recognizing small wins. They are happening all the time, but our brains are trained to look for problems and mistakes. We need to retrain our brains to look for the successes.
This makes so much sense. I've been so focused on the destination, fluency, that I haven't been enjoying the journey or even noticing the scenery along the way.
And the journey is where the learning happens. The destination is just the result of all those small steps. So for everyone listening, we have a challenge for you.
Ooh, I like a challenge. What is it?
For the next week, pick one tiny 1% better action to do each day. Just one. Learn a new word, watch a 1-minute video, label one thing in your house with a sticky note in English.
I love the sticky note idea. You could put mirror on your mirror, door on your door.
Perfect. And at the end of each day, write down what you did. Acknowledge your win. After 7 days, you'll have 7 wins. You'll have proof that you are moving forward.
I'm going to do this. My goal for today is to write one sentence in my journal tonight. That's it. And I'm not going to feel guilty that I'm not doing more.
That is the perfect mindset. It's about being kind to yourself and trusting the process. The snowball will grow. You just have to keep it rolling, even if it's just a tiny push each day.
I feel so much better. It's like a weight has been lifted. The pressure to make giant leaps of progress is gone. I just need to focus on today's tiny step.
That's the secret. It's simple, but it's not always easy. But it is effective. So let's quickly recap the main ideas for our listeners. That's the perfect mindset. And you know, Monica, there's another side to this I think we should talk about.
Okay, first, stop focusing on the huge goal of fluency. Instead, focus on getting just 1% better today.
Second, remember the snowball effect. Small, consistent actions add up to huge results over time. Trust the power of compounding.
Third, make your daily goals tiny and easy to achieve. Consistency is more important than intensity.
And finally, learn to recognize and celebrate your small wins. Every step forward, no matter how small, is still a step forward.
This has been so helpful, Ethan. Thank you. I feel really motivated now, in a calm and realistic way.
You're welcome, Monica. And thank you to all of our listeners. We hope this helps you on your English learning journey. Remember to be patient with yourselves.
Yes, don't give up. Your snowball is rolling, even when you can't see it growing.
That's all the time we have for today on Learn English at Home. Join us next time for another episode. Until then, happy learning.
Bye, everyone.